long while. Here we live in an old rumbling mansion that looks for all the rest like an inn, but we never see company. Our best visitors are Mrs. Osgood, the minister's wife, and little Cripplegate, the lame dancing master. And all our entertainment is your stories of Prince Eugene and the Duke of Marlborough. I keep this old-fashioned thing.
And I love everything that's old. Old manners, old times, old friends, old books, old wine. And I believe you'll agree, Dorothy, I have been pretty fond of old wife.
Boy, Mr. Hardcastle, it's not quite settled with your teeth and your old wife. I'm not as old as you make me by more than 1 good year. Add 20 to 20 and make something of that.
Let me see. 20 added to 20. That makes just 57.
That's false, Mr. Hardcastle. I was but 20 when I had Tony by Mr. Lumpkin, my first cousin. And he's not 20 years of maturity.
Nor ever will be. You have taught him finely.
No matter. My boy is not to live by his learning. I don't think a boy needs much learning to spend $1,500 a year.
Learning him? A mere composition of tricks and mischief.
Humor, my dear, nothing but humor. Come, Mr. Hardcastle, you must allow the poor boy a little humor.
I'd sooner allow him a horse pond. And burning the footman's shoes, writing the maid, wearing the kitchen's dehumor, then he has it. It was but yesterday he fastened the back of my wig to my chair. So when I went to take a bow, I popped my bald head into Mrs. Fizzle's face.
And if I could blame, the poor boy was always too sickly to do any good. The school would be his death. Perhaps when he gets to be a little stronger, who knows what a year through Latin may do for him.
Latin for him? A cat and a fiddle. No, the alehouse and the stable are the only schools he'll ever go to.
Well, we shan't snub the poor boy now, for I believe we shan't have him long among us. Anybody who looks at his face can see he's got tuberculosis.
And being too wise be one of the symptoms.
He coughs sometimes.
When his liquor goes the wrong way.
I'm actually afraid of his luck.
And truly so am I. For he sometimes whoops like a speaking trumpet. There he goes now. We're ready for the talk.
Where are you going so fast? Papa and I still have your attention, Lovey.
I'm in a hurry, Mother. I can't stay.
You shan't venture out this evening. That's shocking.
I can't stay, I tell you. The 3 pigeons expect me down every moment. There's some sort of fun going for it.
The alehouse, the old place. I thought so.
No, paltry set of fellows.
Not so low neither. There's Dick Muggins the tack man, Jack Slang the horse doctor, little Amina Dab that dances as a bear and grinds a music box, and Tessie Twist that spins the future platter.
Pray, my dear, disappoint them for one evening, at least.
As for disappointing them, I should not so much mind, but I can abide to disappointment myself.
You shan't go.
I will, I tell you.
I say you shan't.
We'll see which is strongest, you or I.
There goes a pair that only spoils each other. But it's not the whole age and a combination to drive sense and discretion out the doors. But there's my pretty darling Kate. The fashions of the time have almost infected her, too. While living a year or 2 in London, she's as fond of lace and French frippery as the best of them. Blessings on my innocence, Kate. What a quantity of useless filth has I read about thee, girl. I could never teach the fools of this age that the poor of the world should be clothed from the trimmings of the babe.
You know our agreement, sir. You come in the morning to receive and pay visits and to dress in my own manner, and in the evening I put on my country dress to please you.
And you know I insist upon the terms of our agreement. And by the by, I believe I shall have chance to test your obedience this very evening.
I protest, sir. I don't comprehend your meaning.
Then to be plain with you, Kate. One moment. I expect the young gentleman I have chosen to be your husband from London this very evening. I have received this father's letter in which he informs me his son is set out, and that he intends to follow shortly after.
Indeed. I wish I knew something of this before. Let me, how shall I behave? 1,000 to 1 I shan't like him. Our meeting will be so formal and so like a thing of business that I shall find no room for friendship or speech.
The truth is, child, I'll never control your choice. And yet, Mr. Marlowe is the son of my old friend, Sir Charles Marlowe, of whom you have heard me talk so often. The young gentleman is being bred a scholar, and is designed for an employment in the service of his country. I am told he's of an excellent understanding.
Is he?
Very generous.
I believe I shall like him.
Young and brave.
I'm sure I shall like him.
And very handsome.
My dear papa, say no more. He's mine, I'll have him.
And to crown all, Kate, he's one of the most bashful and reserved young fellows in all the world.
Oh, you have frozen me to death again. That would have sweet nerve has undone all the rest of his accomplishments. A reserved fiancé, it is said, always makes a suspicious husband.
On the contrary, Kate, modesty seldom resides alone in a breast that is not enriched with nobler virtues. It was the very feature in his character that first struck me.
He must have more striking features as for me, I promise you. But if he be so young, so handsome, and so everything as you mentioned, I believe he'll do still. I think I'll have him.
Ah, Kate, there is still an obstacle. It's more than an even wager. He may not have you.
My dear papa, why do you mortify oneself? Well, if he refused, instead of breaking my heart at his indifference, I'll only break my mirror for his flattery. Set my cap to some newer fashion and look out for some less typical admirer.
Bravely resolved. In the meanwhile, I'll go see to the servants. As we so seldom see company, they need as much training as a group of army recruits on the first day of camp.
Lord, if he could have put me on with a flutter. Young, handsome, these he put last, but I put him forward. Sensible, good-natured, I like all that. But then, reserved and sheepish, this is much against him. Yes, can't he be cured of his timidity by being taught to be proud of his wife? Yes, and can't I... But I vow I am disposing of a husband before I begin with himself. I'm glad of your arrival. Tell me, Cousin Constance, is it one of my visiting days? Is there anything whimsical about me? Am I in place today?
Perfectly, my dear. Yet now I will begin. Let me, sure no accident has happened among the canary birds and the goldfishes. Has your brother or the cat been meddling again? Or the last novel been too exciting?
No, none of this. I've been threatened. I can scarcely deny it. I've been threatened with a lover.
And his name?
Is Marlowe,
Indeed.
the son of Sir Charles Marlowe.
As I live, he is the most intimate friend of Mr. Hastings, my admirer. They are never apart. I believe you must have seen him when he lived in town.
Never.
He's very singular character, I assure you. Among women of reputation and virtue, he is the modestest man alive. But his acquaintances give him a very different character among creatures of another kind. You understand.
But an odd character indeed. I shall never be able to manage him. Pshaw, think no more of him, but trust to occurrences for success. But how goes on your
Fantasia. But, at any rate, if my dear Hastings be but faithful, I make no doubt to be too stubborn for her at last. I let her suppose that I am in love with herself, and she never once breathes that my affections are fixed upon another.
My good brother holds out toughly. I could almost love him for hating me so.
He is a good-natured fellow and modest, and I'm sure he would wish to see me married to anybody but himself. The mild buildings so I can walk around the grounds. Although courage is necessary, as our affairs are critical.
I wish that the evening were over and all were well.
Silence for a song. It's quiet when knocking them down for a song.
Aye, a song, a song. Then I shall sing you, ladies and gentlemen, a song I made upon this alehouse. The Three Pigeons. Let schoolmasters puzzle their brains with grammar and nonsense and learning. Good liquor I stoutly maintain gives genius a better discerning. Let them brag of their heathenish gods, their thieves and their sticks and their Stygians, their quees and their quos and their quads. They're all but a parcel of pigeons. To roll, hurrah! When hypocrite preachers come down, of preaching that drinking is sinful, I'll wager that rascal around. They always preach best with a skinful. But when you come down with your pence, for a slice of such sparing religion, I'll preach it to all men of sense. But you, my good friends, are the pigeons. To roll, hurrah! Then bumper the pitcher about,
and let us be merry and clever. Our hearts and our liquors are stout. Is the 3 jolly pigeons forever? Let some cry a woodcock for hair. Your bustards, your ducks, and your Whittians, but all of the birds in the air. Here's to the 3 jolly pigeons. So roll, hurrah!
That's fun to hear. I'd love to hear him sing. You can't see there's something that's low.
Damn anything that's low. I can't bear it.
The genteel thing is the genteel thing, after all. If so be, the gentleman be, the nation accordingly.
I like the maximum of master's slang. But though I am obligated to dance to the bear, a woman may be a lady for all that. May this be my poison. If ever my bear dances but the very genteelest of tunes, such as come tickle my nose with a barley straw.
What a pity it is the squire has not come to his fortune. It would be well for all the tavern owners within 10 miles around of him.
Ecod, Master Slang, so it would. I'd then show what it was to keep choice of company.
Oh, he takes after his own father's back. To be sure, old Squire Luskin was the finest gentleman I ever set my eyes on. But why did the straight horn? Oh, being a ticket for a hair or a wench. He never had it, though. It was the same with places. He got the best horses, dogs, and girls in the whole county.
In women of age, I'll be no miser, I promise you. I've been thinking of Beth Bouncer and the Miller's Gray Mare to begin with. But come, my boys, drink around and be merry, for it's on me. Well, Mrs. Stingle, what's the matter?
There were 2 gentlemen in a carriage at the door. They walked away upon the porch, and they're talking something about Mr. Hardcastle.
As sure as can be, one of them must be the gentleman coming down to court my sister. Well, then desire them to step this way, and I'll set them right in a twinkling. People, as it may be good enough company for you, I'll be with you in this squeezing of a lemon. Stepfather has been calling me dog and hound this half year, and if I please, I could be so revenged upon the old grumble face. But then I'm afraid. Of what? Of what? I shall soon be worth 1,500 a year, and let him scare me out of that if he can.
What a tedious, uncomfortable day we've had. We were told it was but 40 miles across the country, and we've come about 3 score.
And oh, Marlowe, look, because of that unaccountable reserve of yours, you would not let us inquire more frequently on the way.
I know, Hastings. I am unwilling to lay myself open to everyone we meet, and often send a damp but unmanly answer.
At present, however, we are not likely to receive any answer. No offense, gentlemen, but I am told you were inquiring for one Mr. Hardcastle in these parts. Do you know what part of the country you are in? No, sir, but should thank you for information. Know the way you came? No, sir, but if you could inform us. Why, gentlemen, if you know neither the road you are going, nor where you are, nor the road you came, the first thing I have to inform you is, you have lost your way.
There's no information of that, sir.
Pray, gentlemen, is this not the same Hardcastle? A cross-grained, old-fashioned, whimsical fellow, with an ugly face, a daughter, and a pretty son? We have not seen the gentleman, but he has the family you mentioned. The daughter, a tall, traipsing, trolloping, talkative maypole. The son, a pretty, well-bred, agreeable youth that everybody is fond of.
Our information differs in this. The daughter is said to be well-bred and beautiful. The son, an awkward booby, reared up.
Then, gentlemen, you won't reach Mr. Hardcastle this night, I believe. Unfortunately. It's a damn, long, dark, foggy, dangerous way. Stingo, show the gentleman the way to Mr. Hardcastle. Mr. Hardcastle's a quagmire marsh, you know. Master Hardcastle, like a daisy, my master's you're from a deadly deal wrong. When you came to the bottom of the hill, you should have crossed down Squash Lane.
Cross down Squash Lane.
Then you were to keep straight forward till you came to where 4 roads meet.
Where 4 roads meet.
Aye, but you must take only one of them.
Oh?
At a time.
No, sir, you're facetious.
Then, keeping to the right, you ought to go sideways till you come upon Cracked Skull Common. Then you ought to go straight forward till you come to Farmer Murray's farm. Then you ought to go to the right, and then to the left, and then to the right about again till you find out the old mill.
Zoom, man, you could as soon find out the longitude.
What's to be done, Marlowe?
This house promises but a 4%. Though perhaps the landlady could accommodate us.
I'm the landlady, sir. Alas, master, we have but one spare bed in the whole house.
And, to my knowledge, that's taken up by 3 lodgers already, besides the man in the parlor. I hit it. Stingo, don't you think you could accommodate the gentleman? What? I don't mean that! I mean by the fireside with 3 chairs. You do you? Then let me see. Would it be going a mile on farther to the Buck's Head? The old Buck's Head on the hill, one of the best inns in the whole county. Oh, we have escaped the adventure for this night, however.
Sure you be not sending them to your fathers as an inn, be you?
Mum, you fool, you let them find that out. You have to only keep on going straight forward till you come to a large house by the roadside. There you will see a large pair of horns over the door. That's the sign. Drive up the yard and call loudly about you. Sir, we are obliged to you. The servants can't miss the way? No, but I tell you though, the landlord is rich and going to be leaving off business. So he likes to be thought a gentleman. He'll be forgiving you his company and e-card if you pay attention to him. He'll persuade you that his mother was an alderman and his aunt a justice of the peace. A troublesome old place, to be sure.
But he keeps us good wines and beds and money in the whole county.
Well, if he supplies us with these, we shall want no further connection. We return to the right, did you say?
No, straight forward. I'll just step myself out and show you a piece of the way. Mom.
Ah, bless your heart for a sweet, pleasant, damn mischievous son of a... No matter.
I can show that you are used to good company without stirring from home.
Aye. When company comes, you're not to pop out and stare and run back in again like frightened rabbits in a warren. No. You, Diggory, whom I have moved from the barn, must make yourself at the side table. And you, Roger, whom I have advanced to the plow, must stand behind my table. But you're not to stand still with your hands in your pockets. Take your hands from your pockets, Roger, and from your head, hang, you blockhead, you. Same for you, Dane. See how Diggory carries his hands. They're a little too stiff indeed, but that's no great matter. You, Maggie, you're not like the cows now. Get scratch. Same for you, Jane.
Mind how I hold my hands. I learned to hold my hands this way when I was a girl of the militia. And so be it.
You are too talkative. You must learn to be more attentive to the guests. You must hear us talk and not think of talking. You must see us drink and not think of drinking. You must see us eat and not think of eating.
By the laws, your worship, that's perfectly impossible.
There's Diggory sees eating going forward. He can't. He's always wishing for a mouthful himself. Blockhead!
There's not a bellyful in the kitchen as good as a bellyful in the parlor. Let us stomach without reflection.
Ecod, I thank your worship. I'll make a shift to stay my stomach with a pleasant cold beneath enough anchors.
Diggory, you are too talkative. Now, if I can say a good thing or tell a good story at table, you are not to burst out laughing as if you were part of the company.
Then, ecod, your worship mustn't tell the story of the old grouse in the gun room. For the soul of you, we have laughed after 1 year.
That story is a good one. Well, honest Diggory, you may laugh at that, but you must remember to be attentive. Suppose one of the guests would ask for a glass of wine. How will you behave? A glass of wine, sir, if you please. Hey! Why don't you move?
Ecod, your worship, I never have the courage so I see the eatables and drinkables brought upon the table. Then I'm as bold as a lion.
What? Will nobody move?
Not me.
Nor I.
Not me.
I'm not to leave this place.
No place is mine.
Nor mine, for certain. Nor mine.
Spoons, and I'm sure it cannot be mine.
Numbskull!
And so, while like your betters, you quarrel for places the guests must be starved? Oh, you dunces! I find I must begin all over again. But is that a coach I could drive into the yard? Do your poster blockhead you? In the meanwhile, I'll go give my friend's son a hearty reception at the gate. Spoons, my place is downstairs right now.
My place is everywhere.
For this devil is mine. Oh, mine.
My place is to be nowhere at all. So I goes about my business. What are you going to do?
Nothing.
Well, I'll come help you.
Oh, my word. Very good looking house indeed. Antique, but creditable.
The usual fate of a large mansion. Having first ruined the master with good housekeeping, it is last comes to get contributions of the inn.
We travelers are to be taxed to pay for all these finery. I have often seen a marble sideboard or a good chimney piece inflated of 2,000.
Travelers, George, must pay in all places. The only difference is in goodies you pay dearly for luxuries. In bad ones you pay dearly and are fleeced and starved to boot.
You have lived pretty much in inns. I'm surprised that one with so many opportunities in natural descent has not yet acquired a necessary share of sure.
The Englishman's malady. But tell me, George, where could I have learned that assurance you talk of? My life has been chiefly spent in a college or an inn, in seclusion from that lovely part of the creation that chiefly keeps men confident. I don't know that I was ever familiarly acquainted with a modest woman, except my mother, but the females of another class.
Among them you are impudent beyond all conscience.
They are with us.
But among females of another class, I never saw such an idiot, such a trembler. You would for all the world if you want a chance of stealing out of the room.
Why, man, that's because I do want a chance of stealing out of the room. Faith, I have often formed a resolution to break the ice and rattle away at any rate. But I don't know how a single glance from a pair of fine eyes has totally overcome my resolution. An impudent fellow may counterfeit modesty, but I'll be hanged if a modest man can ever counterfeit impudence.
If you could save less half the fine things for them, you lavish upon a college bedmaker, or even a barmaid.
Why, I can't say fine things to them. They freeze, they petrify me. They may speak of a comet or a burning mountain or some such trivia, but to me, a modest woman, dressed out in all her finery, is the most tremendous object of the whole creation.
But how do you intend behaving to the woman you have come down to visit at the request of your father?
As I behave to all other ladies, bow very low, answer yes or no to all her demands. But from then on, I don't think I shall venture to look into her face until I see my father's again.
I pity you. But how could you ever get married then?
Never, unless like kings and princes, my bride should be courted by proxy. If indeed, like an Eastern bridegroom, one were to be introduced to a wife he never saw before, then it might be endured. But to go through the terror of a formal courtship, together with the episode of aunts and grandmothers and cousins, and at last to blurt out the broad staring question of, "Madam, will you marry me?" No, that's a strain much above me, I assure you.
I pity you, Mr. Marlowe.
To be explicit, my dear Hastings, my chief inducement to come down to London was to be instrumental in forwarding your happiness, not my own. Miss Neville loves you, the family doesn't know you, and as my friend you are sure of the reception, and let honor be the rest.
My dear Marlowe, but I'll suppress the emotions. Were I a wretch, meanly seeking to carry off a fortune, you should be the last person I would apply to for help. Miss Neville's person is all I ask, and that is mine, both from her deceased father's consent and her own desire.
Happy man, you have talents and arts to captivate any woman. I am doomed to adore the sex, and yet to converse with the only part of it I despise.
Diggory, bring me the second up punch. I will, your worship.
So, this fellow's here to interrupt us.
Gentlemen, once more, you are heartily welcome. Which is Mr. Marlowe? Sir, you are heartily welcome. You are heartily welcome. It's not my manner, you see, to greet my friends with my back to the fire. I like to give them a hearty reception in the old man at the gate. Once more, you are heartily welcome. I like to see the horses and trunks taken care of.
He's got our names from the servants already. We approve of your caution and hospitality, sir. I was thinking, George, of changing our traveling clothes in the morning. I've grown confoundedly tired of mine.
I beg, gentlemen, you'll use no ceremony in this house.
I think you're right. The first blow is half the battle. I I intend opening the campaign with the white and gold house.
Mr. Marlowe, Mr. Hastings, as I was telling you, you'll use no ceremony in this house. This is Liberty Hall, gentlemen. You may do just as you please here.
Yet, George, if we open the lovers' campaign too fiercely, we may want ammunition before it is over. I think to reserve the embroidered coat in order to secure a retreat. What do you think of the brown and gold jacket?
Your talk of a retreat, Mr. Marlowe, puts me in mind of the Duke of Marlborough when he went to besiege the name. He first summoned the garrison.
I will summon your garrison, old boy.
He first summoned the garrison, which might consist of about 5,000.
What a strange fellow this is. I don't know. Brown and gold don't go very well together.
As I was telling you, gentlemen, he first summoned the garrison, which might consist of about 5,000
Well,
men.
you know the girls like to find out.
Which might consist of about 5,000 men, well armed with swords, ammunition, and other implements of war. There says the Duke of Marlborough to George Brooks to next to you. What's the matter, George Brooks? I'll support my duty, said he, but I'll take that garrison without spilling a drop of blood.
What, my good friend? If you would get us a glass of punch in the meantime, it would help us to carry on the siege with vigor.
Punch? Sir?
Yes, sir, punch. A glass of warm punch after our journey would be comfortable. This is Liberty Hall, you know.
Here's a cup, your worship. Here's a cup, sir.
So this fellow and all his Liberty Hall will only let us have just what he pleases.
Did you tell him about the old grouse?
No, no.
Tell it.
I hope you'll find it to your mind, sir. I made it with my own hands, and I'm sure you'll agree the ingredients are tolerable. Will you be so good as to toast me, sir?
Sir, my service to you.
Here's to a better equipped.
This, but he's a character, and I'll humor him a little.
I see this fellow has learned to be a gentleman before learning to be an innkeeper.
From the excellence of your cup, old friend, I suppose you have a good deal of business in this part of the country. One work now and then during elections, I suppose.
Now, I have long since given that much over.
So that you have no turn for politics, I thought?
I once fretted myself about the mistakes of the government as other people, and yet, finding myself more and more frustrated, and the government no better, I left it to mend itself. Sir, my service to you.
So, what with eating above stairs and drinking below, receiving your friends within and entertaining them without, you lead a good, pleasant, bustling life of it.
I do stir about a great deal, that's for certain. Why, half the differences of the county are settled in this very parlor.
Well, you have an argument in your cup, old friend. Better than any in Westminster Hall.
Aye, that and political philosophy.
Well, this is the first time I've ever heard of an innkeeper's philosophy.
But who can be angered at his constant attentions which are meant to please us so? Ha!
That's important. What accident am I destroyed this happy meeting?
Let me ask the same question, as I could never have hoped to meet my dearest Constance at an inn.
An inn? You mistake. My aunt, my guardian is here. What could induce you to think this house an inn?
My friend, Mr. Marlowe, with whom I just came down, and I have been sent here to an inn, I assure you. A gentleman.
So often.
He whom your aunt intends for you, he of whom I have such just apprehensions.
You have nothing to fear from him. I assure you. You'd adore him if you knew how heartily he despises you. My aunt knows this too, and has undertaken to court me for him, and actually believes she has made a conquest.
You must know, my Constance, my friend Marlowe I just used to get admittance into the family. The horses with which we came down are tired with the journey, but they'll soon be refreshed. And if my dearest Constance will trust her faithful Hastings, we shall soon be out of their power.
Though I have often told you that, and am ready to obey you. I yet should leave my little fortune behind for nothing. The great part of it was given to me by my uncle, the Indian director, and chiefly consists of jewels. I have, for some time now, been persuading my aunt to allow me to wear them, and I fancy I'm very near succeeding. The instant they are put into my possession, you shall find me ready to make that, and myself yours.
Perish the bauble. Your person is all I desire.
Will permit you to see her.
The devil she will. How can I carry this off? Mr. Hastings, you are to assist me, you know, or I shall be confoundedly ridiculous.
Pshaw, man. It's but the first plunge and all's over. She's but a woman, you know.
Yes, and see that I most dread to encounter.
After meeting my modest gentleman, I am glad of your safe arrival, sir. I am told you had some accidents by the way.
Only a few, madam. Oh, some. A good deal of accidents, but should be sorry, or rather glad of any accidents that have so agreeably concluded.
Keep it up and you're confirmed in assurance forever.
I'm afraid you flatter, sir. A gentleman like you that has seen so much of the finest company can find little entertainment in an obscure corner of the world.
I have lived, well, George, I have lived in the world, but I have kept little company. I have been an observer upon life while others were enjoying it.
Cicero never spoke better. Once more, and you are confirmed in assurance forever.
Stand by me then, and when I'm down, throw in a word or two to set me up again.
An observer like you upon life were, I fear, disagreeably employed, since you must have had much more to censor than
Pardon me, madam. I was always going to be amused. The folly of most people is rather an object of mirth than uneasiness.
Bravo, bravo. Keep it up. Well, Miss Hardcastle, I see you're getting along very well. Our presence here will but embarrass the interview.
Not in the least, Mr. Hastings. We like your company of all things. Damn it, George! I say, ma'am.
sir.
I'm afraid, ma'am, I am not so happy as to make myself agreeable to the ladies.
The lady, I suppose, had employed her parts to address.
Perhaps so, madam, but I have studied only to deserve them.
And that, some say, is the very worst way to obtain them.
Pardon me, madam, but I love to converse only with the more grave and sensible part of the sex. But I'm afraid I grow tiresome.
Not in the least, sir. There's nothing I like so much as grave conversation myself. I could hear it forever. Indeed, I have often been surprised how a man of sentiment could ever admire those light, airy pleasures where nothing is usually touched.
It's a disease of the mind, madam. In the variety of tastes, there must be some who, wanting a relish for,
I understand you, sir. There must be some who, wanting a relish for refined pleasure, pretend to despise what they are incapable of.
my meaning, madam, was infinitely better expressed. And I can't help observing,
Ever since gentlemen, impudent and rude upon some occasion. You were observing, sir.
yes, I was observing. But I protest, madam, I forget what I was going to observe.
I doubt, so you are. You were observing, sir, that
Yes, hypocrisy. In this age of hypocrisy, There are some who, upon strict inquiry for,
I understand you perfectly, sir.
Gad, and that's more than I do myself.
You mean that in this beautiful age, public behavior is different than private behavior?
True, madam. Those who have most virtue in their mouths have least of it in their bosom. Breath, heart.
One may speak to one's own relations and not be slaves.
Ah, but what sort of relations do you want to make, though? But it won't do, I tell you, it won't do. So I beg you'll keep your distance. I want no nearer relationship. Hey, come back here!
Sure.
In the world I love to talk of, much as London is fabulous, so I was never there myself.
Never there? You amaze me. Your air and manner, I conclude you have been bred your whole life either at St. James or Buckingham Palace.
Oh, sir, you're only flattering. We country persons can have no manners at all. I'm in love with this town, and that shows great need of some of our neighboring rustics. But who can have a manner that's never seen such places with the nobility seeking the doors? All I can do is enjoy London at second hand. I take care to know your tennis from this scandalous magazine, and how all the fashions as they appear in these magazines. Pray, do you like my hair?
Very elegant, dégagé, upon my word. Your hairdresser is a Frenchman, I suppose?
I don't know, sir. I read from this month's magazine.
Such a head at the playhouse would draw as many gazers as my lady there at the city ball.
Well, with current fashion, there's no such thing as pleasing, slave woman. So one must dress a little out of the ordinary, or else they will fade into the crowd.
Intolerable. At your age you may wear what you like, and it must become you.
Pray, sir, what do you take to be the most fashionable age around London?
Some time ago, 40 was all the glory. But I'm told men tend to bring up 50 in the coming winter.
Seriously? Then I should be too young for the fashion.
No woman begins to put on jewels now till she's past 40. Miss there, for example, would be considered as a mere child, a maker of samples and life circle.
Yet my niece is herself a little woman, fond of the oldest of us all.
Your niece, she, and that other gentleman, a brother of yours, I suppose?
My son, sir, they're contracted. Observe their little sports. They quarrel and make up again 10 times a day if they were men and wife already. Pray, Tony Tom, stop things for little confidence.
I've been saying no soft things, but that it's very hard to be followed about so. Econ! Not a place in all the house for myself, but the stable.
Never mind him, Tom, my dear. He's in another story behind your back.
There is something generous about my cousin's manner. He falls out in public, speaks forgiving in private.
They're like each other about the mouth. Don't you think so, Miss Daisy?
Very well.
Don't blame him. They're out with me. Sure, but sides together, too. Back to back, my pretties. This is great. Continue.
You had better not make me, I can tell you.
For shame, Tony. You are mad and behave so.
Econ! If I'm a man, let me have my fortune. I'll not be made a fool of
It's this, you ungrateful brute, that I'm all this. Didn't I take all the pains of your education?
But you wouldn't rock me in an apple barrel.
No, I really stuck for you.
But you wouldn't beat it with a fire shovel.
This is not a work that we took no trouble to make you look genteel.
Well, ain't I genteel? Econ! I'll not be made a fool of any longer.
Wasn't it all for your good, Viper? Wasn't it all for your good?
Then I wish you'd let me and my good alone then. Fooling me this way when I'm in spirits. If I'm to have any good, let it come of itself. Enough to keep dinging it into one so.
That's false, Tony. I never see when you're good spirit. No, you didn't walk the alehouse. I'll never be delighted with your agreeable songs. You unfeeling monster!
Econ! Mama, your songs are the wildest of the two.
Stop! I hear you say, I'm saying
I'm sure I can persuade you.
Thank you.
it's the only comfort of her heart. Why, I've seen her and her sister cry over a book for an hour together. And they say they like the book the more it makes them cry.
So, you're no friend to the ladies, I find?
That's it, I find them.
Not to her of your mother's choosing, I dare answer. And yet, she appears to be a pretty, sensible girl.
That's because you don't know her as well as I. Why, I know every inch about her, and there's not a more cantankerous toad in all of Christendom.
Pretty encouraging this for a lover.
I've seen her at the height of that. Why, she has as many tricks as a hare in a thicket or a colt on its first day's breaking.
To me, she appears sensible and silent.
I be full company, but when she's with her playmates, she's as loud as a hog in a gate.
Well, you must allow her some beauty. Yes, you must allow her some beauty.
From a bandbox, she's all a made-up thing, man. But could you see that bouncer of these parts? Eyes as black as coal, cheeks as broad and as red as a rose. You would make two of her.
What say you then that would take this bitter bargain off your hands?
Come again?
Would you thank him that would take Miss Neville and leave you to your happiness and your Betsy?
Ah, but where is there such a friend who would take her?
I am he. If you but assist me, I shall carry her up to France, and you shall not hear more of her.
Assist you? Ecod, I lose the last drop of my blood! I'll need a pair of horses to your parents that will set you off in a twinkling, and you'll have a fortune in jewels besides that you little dream of.
My dear squire, this looks like a lot of spirit.
Then come and you shall see more of my spirit before you have done with me. We are the boys here, no
Brass never spoke with a tongue. He has taken control of my chair. He took off his boots in the parlor and bid me see them taken care of. I am want to know how his impudence affects my daughter. She will certainly be shocked at it. Ah, Kate, I see you have changed your dress as I bid you, and yet there was no great occasion.
I find it such a pleasure, sir, in obeying your commands, that I take care to observe them without ever debating their propriety.
And yet, Kate, I sometimes give you cause, such as when I recommend this young gentleman as a fiancé for you today.
I was taught to expect something extraordinary, and I find I would not detain you.
He spoke to me as if he knew me all his life before, asked me 20 questions and never waited for an answer, interrupted my best remark with some silly pun, and when I was telling him of my friend Brooks, he asked me if I was a maker of punch. Yes, Kate, he asked your father if he was a maker of punch.
Surely one of us must be mistaken.
In one thing, however, we are agreed, to reject him.
Yes, but upon condition. For if you should find him less impudent, and I more demanding, if you should find him more respectful, and I more presuming, I don't know. The man is handsome enough. For a man.
If we should find him so, but that's not possible. My foresight has me convinced, and I'm seldom deceived in that.
Then as one of us must be mistaken, what if we go to make further discovery?
Agreed. But depend on it, I'm in the right.
And depend on it, I'm not much in the wrong.
Bombs and all. My mother shan't cheat the poor souls out of their fortune neither. Oh, Martinez, is that you?
My dear friend, how have you managed with your mother? I hope you have amused her with pretending love for your cousin, and that you'll be engaged at last.
And here's something to keep you by the way. Your sweetheart's jewels. Keep them and hang those that would rob you of one of them.
But how have you gotten them from your mother?
Ask me no questions and I'll tell you no lies. I got them by rule of thumb. Why, if I had not the key to every drawer in Mother's bureau, how could I go to the alehouse so often as I do? An honest man may rob from himself at any time.
Thousands do it every day. But to be perfectly honest, Miss Neville is endeavoring to secure them from her aunt this very instant. If she succeeds, that will be the most delicate way, at least, of obtaining them.
Then you keep them till you know how it will be. But I know how it will be whether not. Why, she'd as soon part with the only sound tooth in her head.
But I dread the effects of her mother's temper when she finds they are gone.
Don't you mind her temper. Leave me to manage that. I don't value her temper the bounce of a cracker. Vantage, here they come.
Indeed, Constance, you need to. Such a girl as you want jewels. It will be time enough for jewels, my dear, be 20 years hence when you are beautiful.
But what will repair beauty at 40 will certainly improve it at 20.
Lord, my dear Miss Nunn, that shadow blushes beyond 1,000 ornaments. Besides, jewels are quite out at present. Don't you see half the ladies of our acquaintance, my Lady Kildare and Mrs. Crump, carrying their jewels off to town and bring nothing but peace and mirth?
But who knows, Alice? Somebody who shall name him. Like you that is on my little finery about me.
Consult your mirror, my dear, and then see with such a pair of eyes you want any better sparklers. What do you think, Tony, my dear? Does your cousin Con want any jewels in your eyes?
That's as thereafter may be.
But my dear aunt, if you knew how this would oblige me.
Apart from old-fashioned rose and table such things, they would make you look like the court of King Solomon at a puppet show. Besides, I believe I can readily find them. They may be missing for all I know.
That's it, Mama. Tell her they're lost. Tell her they're lost and told her that a witness. It's the only way to quiet her.
You know I'm only keeping them for you. If I tell her they're gone, you'll bear me witness, will you?
God, I'll say I've seen them taken out with my own eyes.
My dear aunt, I but oblige them for one day, so I may show them as well. And then they may not lost up again.
To be plain with you, my dear Constance, if I could find them, you should have them, but they're missing, lost for all I know.
I shan't believe it. This is but a shallow pretense to deny me. Something so valuable would not be so carelessly mislaid. And since you were responsible, you shall answer for their loss.
Never fear, my dear Constance. If they've been lost, I must restore equivalence, but my son knows they're missing and not to be found.
I can bear witness to that.
Besides, Mother has to give the equivalence. You must learn resignation, my dear, for though we lose our fortunes, we should not lose our patience. See me? See how calm I am?
Yes, see how calm I am?
People are generally calm in the misfortunes of others.
Constance, you amaze me. A girl such as you, whom waste a thought upon such a trumpery. Never fear. In the meantime, until your jewel be found, you shall make use of my garment.
I detest God.
The most becoming things on a clear complexion. You've often seen how well they've looked upon me. You shall have them.
I dislike them of all things. Was ever anything ever so provoking? Mislay my own jewels and force me to wear trumpery.
Don't be a fool. Take what she gives you. The jewels are her own already. I have stolen them from her bureau and she does not know of the matter yet. Vanish, here she comes. Zoom, how she carries on like fireworks.
My dear cousin. We've been wrong.
What's the matter, Mama? I hope nothing has happened to any of the good family.
My bureau has been broke open, all taken away, and I'm undone.
Oh, is that all? By the laws, Mama, I've never seen it better acted in my whole life. I thought you was ruined in earnest.
That's why I am ruined in earnest. My bureau has been broke open, all taken away, and I'm undone.
Stick to that, stick to that. I'll bear witness, you know.
I tell you, Tony, by all that's precious, the jewels are gone, and I will be ruined forever.
Sure they're gone, and I know where the apple took them.
My dearest cousin, let me hear you. They're gone, I say!
Yes, they're gone, and I am to say so.
Was there ever such an idiot who won't hear me? Can you bear witness that you're no better than a fool?
I can bear witness to that.
Was there ever such a fool? Fools on one hand and thieves on the other!
I can bear witness to that.
Bear witness against you, pocket you, and I'll turn you out of the room directly. My poor niece, what will become of her? You laughed and you enjoyed my distress. If you give it to my mother, I will. The beautiful barmaid, madam, said he. Then have I been around the wall to keep up the delusion? Tell me, darling, what you think of my present dress. Oh, it is a dress, madam, that every lady wears in the country, except when she visits Mrs. Confidence. And are you sure he does not remember my face or person? Don't have it now.
I have scarce a moment's repose. If I go to the bedroom, there I find my host in his story. If I fly to the gallery, there is my hostess and her courtesy down to the ground. At last, a moment to myself, and now for recollection, that you and I can ever be acquainted.
And it won't be what for you. I don't know this place, not I. I'm sure you did not treat Miss Hardcastle in such scrupulous manner. Oh, won't they? Before her, just as out of peace.
Egad, she's hit it, sir, enough. In awe of her child? No.
What were my orders? Were you not supposed to drink freely and call for what you thought safe for the good of the house?
I begin to lose my patience. Please, Your Honor. Liberty and Fleet Street. Forever. Though I am but a servant, I am as good as another man. I'll drink for no man before supper, sir. Good liquor will sit well upon a good supper, but a good supper will not sit well upon my conscience, sir. You see, sir, he's as drunk as he possibly can be.
I don't know what you'd have more unless you have the poor devil dunked in a beer barrel.
Zoom, you'll drive me distracted of simplicity, which it means no.
That if I stay, I'm undone.
I must make one bold effort and leave her. Your partiality in my favor, my dear, touches me most sensibly. And were I to live for myself alone, I could easily choose on my own. But to be frank with you, the difference about birth, fortune, and education makes an honorable connection impossible. And I could never harbor a thought of seducing simplicity that trusted in my honor, or bring ruin upon one whose only soul is being too lucky.
Stoops to conquer, but will explain all to my papa, who perhaps may laugh him out of his resolution.
I've done my duty.
Certainly, my dear cousin, you won't forsake us in our time of distress. If my dear aunt should suspect that I'm going out, I shall certainly be locked up or sent to my aunt's pedigree, which is 10 times worse.
You be sure, I'm so all kind of goddamn bad things. But what can I do? I fixed a pair of horses to your carriage that will fly like the wind. And I'm sure you can't say that I haven't courted you nicely before her face. Oh, here she comes. I suppose I must pretend to say pretty things again.
Well, I was greatly fluttered, to be sure, but my son tells me it was all mistakes of service. It shan't be easy, however, that I barely marry and then let her keep her own fortune. But what do I see? Playing together as I'm alive. I never saw Tony so happy before in all his life. I put you, my pretty dove, what's doing and doing.
As for doing, mother, we grumble a little now and then to be sure, but there's no love lost between us.
A mere sprinkling comes upon the flame only to make it burn brighter.
My dear cousin promises to give us more than company at home. Indeed, he shan't leave us. You won't leave us, Cousin Tony, will you?
No, it's a pretty creature. I'd sooner leave my horse in a pond than leave you smiling upon one so. Your laugh makes you so becoming.
Agreeable cousin, who could help but admiring that natural humor, that pleasant, broad, red, sparkling eye?
It's an old day. Pretty innocent.
I suppose I always loved Cousin Carmen's hazel eyes and her pretty long fingers that she twists this way and that way.
I was never so happy before in all my life. My son takes after my first husband, poor Mr. Lumpkin, exactly. The jewels are yours, my dear Constance. You shall have them. You shall be married tomorrow, and you'll put off the rest of his education, like the minister's sermon, to a more fitter opportunity.
Well, goodbye.
Bless you. Give it to my mama. She's all my letters first. I had orders delivered into your own hand. Where does it come from?
You worship Monarch. That's a letter.
Double quick, Mom! Although I do wish I could know, though.
I'm done. A letter in from Hastings. If my dear aunt sees it, I'm ruined forever. I must keep her employed a while if I can. My dear aunt, I have not yet told you of my cousin's smart aunt with Mr. Marlowe just now. Who's the pleasure so we shan't hear us?
A damn current piece of penmanship as ever I saw in my life. I can read print well enough, but there are such loops and swells and dashes that one can scarce tell the head from the tail. Anthony Lumpkin, Esquire. It's funny how I can read my own name well enough, but when it comes to the inside of a letter, it's all fuzz. It's hard, very hard, for the inside of a letter is always the cream of the correspondent.
And so my son was equipped with a philosopher.
Pray on, move this way a little more, and you shall hear how he puzzled him next.
He seems strangely puzzled now, Mr.
A damned up and down hand as if it was disguised in liquor. Let me see. There's a D and an R. That's doctor. Then there's an S and a Q. Oh, S-Q-U-I-R-T. That's the square. And then there's an M and a T and an S. And what does the next letter be? An is or an R? Confound me if I can tell.
What is it, my dear? Can I give you any assistance?
Pray on, let me read it. I can read the best trans hand there is. Do you know where it's from?
Can't tell except from Dick Ginger, the feeder.
Aye, and so it is. Dear Squire, hoping that you are in health, as I am. The gentlemen of the Shake Bag Club have been cutting up the gentlemen of the Gooseberry Club just into feathers. The all about fighting and this is all about constant fighting. Of no consequence. Stop.
Alas, it is of all of consequence. Mother, do you make it out? Of no consequence?
How's this?
There, you didn't say anything about how's this.
Dear Squire,
Oh, I thought that was Dr. Square.
I am now waiting for Miss Neville with a carriage at the bottom of the garden, but I find my horses just unable to perform the journey. Please send the new horses as promised. Dispatch is necessary, as the hag. That's you! Why the hag, or brother, will otherwise respect your grant me patience, I shall run this strike as my rage chokes me!
Freya, I hope you will suspend your resentment for Eunice Smartness, and not impute to me any sinister design which belongs to another, finely spoken of.
It was very sweet of and were you two joining this against me? But I'll defeat all your plots in a moment. Since you've got yourself a pair of horses waiting for you, it would be cruel to disappoint them. So instead of flying off with your bow, prepare to fly off with me instead. Your Aunt Pedigree will keep you safe, I warn you. You shall guard us along the way. Here, Roger, Diggory! I'll show you that I wish you better than you do yourself.
The old hag. Your mother.
Now I'm completely ruined.
That's a sure thing.
What's better to be expected from being connected with such a stupid fool? And after all the signs and nods I gave you.
Aye, miss, it was your own cleverness and not my stupidity that got us into this fix. You were so content with your shake bags and your goose greens that I thought you could never be making believe.
So, sir, I find by my servant that you have shown our letter and betrayed us.
There's more. Ask Miss Fair who betrayed you.
So I have been finally used here amongst you, rendered contemptible, driven into ill manner, insulted, despised, laughed at.
There's more. We shall have better broke news presently.
There, gentlemen, is the sir who's responsible.
What can I say? A mere booby whose age and ignorance are a protection.
A poor contemptible fool that was but disgraced correction.
With cunning and malice enough to make himself merry with all our embellishments.
An insensible tongue.
Replete with tricks and mischief.
Bah! Damn ye, I'll bet you bet one after the other. With pillows!
You are the evil. But your conduct, Mr. Hastings, requires an explanation. You knew of my mistake, and you didn't even tell me.
Tortured as I am, this is not the time for explanations, Mr. Marlowe. It is not friendly.
But, sir,
Mr. Marlowe, we did not come upon your mistake until it was too late to tell you. Please be pacified.
Miss Neville, Constance, my horses, I say!
Coming! Remember, gentlemen, constancy is the word.
you see now, young gentlemen, the effects of your folly. What might be amusement to you is here disappointment and even distress.
I take your hands, yours and yours, my poor Stoops. Meet me at the garden 2 hours hence. And if you do not find Tony Lumpkin a more agreeable fellow than you hoped for, I'll hit the better horses to your carriage, and I'll give you best down suit into the bargain.
Oh, we have to jolly good fellow.
Left them, where should I leave them but where I found them?
This is a riddle.
Riddle me this then. What goes round the house and round the house and never touches the house?
I'm still astray.
That's it, man. I led them astray. By jingo, there's not a pond nor marsh within 5 miles that they can tell me.
I understand. You took them in a round while they supposed themselves going forward, and they're back at the house. But no action, I hope.
No, no. The mother is confoundedly frightened. She thinks herself 40 miles off, and she's sick of the journey. A horse can scarce crawl. But if your own horse be ready, you may whip off with cousin, and I'll be bound where no soul shall budge an inch to follow you.
My dear friend, how can I thank you?
Vanish. Here they come. And she's all draggled up to the waist like a mermaid.
Oh, Tony, I'm so better to death. I love so to let me in.
What's the matter, Mama?
Oh, I wish we were home again. Never met so many horrible things in one morning. Just fast in the marsh, overturned in the mud, and jolted to a jelly. Whereabouts do you think we are?
Oh, about 40 miles from home. Right around heavy trees.
Oh, blood, the most notorious place in all the county. We only need a robbery to make a complete night of it.
Don't be afraid, Mama. Don't be afraid. 3 of the 5 that live here are hanged and hopefully the other 2 won't bother us. Don't be afraid, Mama.
Oh, the fright will certainly kill me.
You see anything like a man galloping on a horse? No, it's only a tree. Don't be afraid, Mama. You see anything like a black hat?
Oh, Dad.
No, it's only a cow. Don't be afraid.
I'm sure I'd be a man moving in the thicket. I'm sure of it. If he sees us, we're undone.
Stepfather, by all that's unlucky, how would you take one of his lightning walks? Mama! The highwayman was pistoled as long as my leg! A down here looking fellow! You go hide yourself in a thicket and I'll go for dry hand if any danger be near!
I am mistaken. I heard voices of people in want of help. Oh, Tony, is that you? I did not expect you back so soon. Are your mother and her charge in safety?
Yes, very safe at my Aunt Pettigrew's house.
40 miles in 3 hours? Sure, that's too much, boy.
No, stout horses and willing minds make long journeys short.
Still, I'm sure I heard 2 voices, and I should be glad to know from whence the other came.
No, it was just I, stepfather, talking to myself. I was saying that 40 miles in 3 hours was very good going. And then see if you caught a cold being out in this weather. So we'll go in if you please.
No, because if you talk to yourself, you do not answer yourself. I am sure I heard 2 voices, and I should be glad to know from whence the other came.
Lotto, my poor baby, my darling. It's perfectly honest here, Mr. Highwayman. Our watches, our money, our jewelry, all we have must spare the life of my child.
My wife is like a Christian, but from whence can she come and what does she need?
Promise we never will spare our lives.
Sure, the woman's lost her senses. What, Dorothy, don't you recognize me? Your own doodly-dumpty?
Castle, my life.
You left room for another in my bed.
Oh, my dear, I was going to find you in a place like this.
What, Dorothy, you have not lost your wits? In a place like this, when you're within 40 yards of your own door? This is one of your own tricks, you faceless rogue, you. Don't you recognize the gate and the mulberry tree? Don't you remember the horse pond?
Yes, I remember the horse pond as long as I live. I fought my death in this. It's to you that I owe all this. I'll teach you to your mother, I will. I am proud of your little sir. And be sure, Meredith, if you conceal yourselves behind that screen, you shall hear explicit speculation. But he comes.
I'll get your father and bring him here. So
repent for stepping out like I come once more to take leave. Nor did I till this moment know the pain I feel in separation.
I'm sure your sufferings cannot be very great, sir, which you can so easily remove. A day or two longer, perhaps, might lessen your uneasiness, measuring the little value of what you now think proper to possess.
This girl every moment improves upon me. Courage, man!
So they've gone off, I care not.
Who gone?
My dutiful niece and her gentleman friend, Mr. Hastings. He who came with our modest visit thither.
Who, my honest George Hastings, as worthy a fellow as this, and the girl that I have made a more prudent choice.
What? Return so soon? I begin not to like it.
For my late attempt to fly up with your niece, let my present confusion be my punishment. I came back to appeal to your humanity. By her father's consent, I first paid her my addresses, and our passions were founded on duty.
I'm glad they've come back to claim their due. Come hither, Tony boy. Do you now refuse this lady's hand that I offer you?
You know I cannot refuse her till I'm of age, Father.
While I thought concealing your age would aid in your improvement, I agreed with your mother's desire to keep the secret. But now that I find how she uses it to a wrong use, I must tell you, you have been of age these 3 months.
I have come to years of discretion, Father.
No, I didn't say that. You are your own master now.
I am of age I am.
And 3 months.
Then you will see the best use I'll make of my liberty. I, Anthony Lumpkin, Esquire, refuse you, Constantia Neville Spinster, for my lawful wife. So, Constantia Neville, may you go to the devil, and Tony Lumpkin is his own man again. Now, Mother, I have only 2 words to say to you.
What is it, my lovey?
To be less arbitrary, I should be the happiest man alive if you would return me the favor.
Come, madam, you are now driven to the last scene of your contrivances. I know you like him. I'm sure he loves you, and you must, and shall, have him.
And I agree also. And Mr. Marlowe, if he makes a good wife as he has a daughter, you will never repent the bargain. And as you have been mistaken in the mistress, may you never be mistaken in the wife.
Thus having stooped to conquer with success, and gained a husband without his distress. Still, as a bondman, I could wish it too, as I have conquered him, to conquer you.
charm for my bracelet, which is in the back there. This is the 22nd show I've had in Satin Hill. It goes on my shoulder. It's been a great deal of fun. It's been hard work and a classic, and I'm very proud of these people that have come through for me in spades. Thank you all very much. I'd like to thank Ken English, my stage manager. Seriously, Judy Douglas has done everything for me. On stage with Douglas. Run errands, and assisted with counsel. We won't say so because she doesn't do that. And she plays volleyball. I need to know what the spring show is, and I don't know myself yet. But we hope you will all come back in April because it's going to be something wonderful. Thank you so much for coming.
Little did you know he had this talent hiding inside him. Oh yeah, yes, you know.